note saying hi. Oh, you're recording.
No, we are kicking ass and taking names. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast, and if you want to join us each and every day, you can do so at iHeartRadio, also the Odyssey app, and you can find us at BitChute. That's right. We are on the old BitChute, which is quite the platform, and we have got Dan Sindel with us today. I probably butchered that name, but
No,
Dan
quite
joins
well.
us. Dan joins us here on our big broadcast. Dan, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
Hi, I'm doing great. Honored to be here, and you did pronunciate my name correctly. Thank
Look at
you.
that! Look at that! I got it, baby. I got it.
Hey, baby, thank you.
So Dan, you have got a lot of projects going on. You're an independent solo artist, but you also are you were involved in the world of anime, which we will get to here in a few as well. So Dan, first of all, how do we find you online? Where is the best spot to send people to your stuff?
Well, hopefully at the end of this whole thing, you might be able to post some links, but on Instagram and Facebook, I have a channel that goes by my name, Dan Sindel Music, all one word type of a thing. And
Okay.
my website, dansindel.com. Same thing on YouTube, blah, 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 same old.
Well, good stuff. Good stuff. We have got Dan Sindel with us today. He joins us here on our big program, and
Yeah.
Dan, let's start with it. Let's talk about the music first, and then we'll get into the anime. And for the anime, I may end up bringing an expert in because I have no clue about this. But
Oh, trouble.
Dan, first of all, congratulations on this new single, "Blindsided." It really packs a punch. What's the story behind this song, my man?
Blindsided. Well, hey, just part of life, huh? We all end up getting blindsided by somebody we trusted, and, hey, things happen silently in the shadows. Forces are always working against us. It's something I think that everyone in life has experienced, and my music is somewhat cathartic. I write about things that happen to me and what have you. I'm not really that type of guy to sit around and write love songs or what have you. I just sort of do things about social commentary and life experiences. So there you have it. It's not a very deep type of a thing. It's just kind of more of a FU kind of a song.
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
Can I say that online?
I you can say that here. The only thing I can't say is well, no, I can say this. This is going to be on the Sunday show. I can say the P word, which is podcast. Our
Yeah,
podcast is
the
available.
P word.
The P word. You can't say the P word on our regular radio affiliates because
Well,
podcast is a banned word. You say on demand archived audio. But we have got Dan Sindel with us today. He has got Blindsided. You describe it as an anthem for the misguided, misunderstood, and misinformed misfits of the world. What inspired this sentiment, my man?
I'm just sort of a generic wordsmith. I like to just make up things that sound really cool at the moment. And that's actually been a little
Really
catchphrase.
cool at the moment.
I put that on both of my albums, my two EPs that I released over the past few years. I just thought that's kind of a cool thing to shout out to everybody. Why not? If it ever catches on, all good. I think there's a lot of us that sort of feel a little bit left behind by society, and we all kind of need a realm to congregate. A universe of weirdos needs a place to hang out.
We have got a great guest with us today. Dan Sindel is with us. He joins us here on our big program, talking about Blindsided, his brand new song. So, was there a specific moment or experience that led you to write Blindsided?
Nah, not really. I just started writing the song musically, and I don't know, I just must have been in a mood one day, and that's just sort of what came out lyrically. You know how it goes.
You know
Sometimes,
how it goes. There we go.
sometimes you write letters that are never meant to be sent, and sometimes they end up in songs.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Dan Sindel with us today. He joins us here on our big broadcast. So with Blindsided, the song feels both personal and universal. Was it written from a direct experience or as a message to others who've been wronged, my man?
I think we already semi covered that
Yeah,
topic, but yeah, I mean, it's personal for me. I truly think that in most people's life experience, these things do happen to you, whether you're a little kid on the playground or growing up and being in relationships or what have you. Hey, it's just part of life, you know. People do not meet up to your expectations sometimes, and sometimes even things worse beyond your wildest imaginations can happen behind your back, and you find out too late. And hey, you know, like I said, that's life.
that is amazing. That is
Hey,
amazing.
I
You're
was
you're
just
you're
out
like
for.
you're like an easygoing kind of guy, Dan. I think that's awesome.
I am. Yeah, I'm a pretty cool cat. You know, but
I'm
you
a
know what they
pretty
say.
cool cat.
Yeah, you know what they say. It's the quiet guys you have to watch out for. But
That's right. That's right. Gotta watch out for them quiet guys. It is Dan Sindel. He's with us today. We're talking about Blindsided. So let's talk a little bit about the musical direction and the production for this. Sonically, Blindsided has the mix of grit and polish. Can you tell us about the recording and the production process for this thing? How did this come to life, Dan?
oh, it's a whole thing. You know, I wish it was easy just to say I stepped into a studio, but you know, this thing was really put together as a puzzle, as all of my songs were. They start on my computer. I do what are called demos, and I get them to a place where I feel pretty happy about it as far as moving forward, spending the money, finding the right musicians to get it done, the studio. You know, I do everything. I do the vocals, I do the guitar, I do the bass, I program the drums all on my computer, and then I hire a drummer, someone here in Los Angeles perhaps, and I have to rent a studio. I get the drummer in. He replaces the computer software drums for real drums. Then I typically have to go back and re-record everything all over again here at my home studio, and then I hire a professional mixing engineer to cross the finish line and turn it into real product. Unfortunately, I can't wear every hat in the process. I'm pretty good with my computers, but just not good enough to make it sound like radio quality, you know, that level. So I usually have to step out and hire somebody. And thankfully, on my last album, They Only Love You When You're Winning, that's my second EP, which is currently out. Blindsided is, you know, the newest single from there. I found my old pal from high school, Danny Saber, to come and help me. Danny is somebody I knew when he was a little kid. He was like a genius back when. He already knew how to make computers and synthesizers talk before anybody even knew what they were. And he went on to work in the big studios and worked on projects with Ozzy Osbourne, David Bowie, U2. I mean, the list goes on and on. And, you know, with all of his great credits, he listened to what I was doing and he really thought that he could bring it up to level and cross the finish line and work with me. So yeah, I'm really proud of what we have here. Yeah, it's a pretty nice project. And if anybody's interested, there is a website called Band Mix. And right now, that's where my two EPs are available for purchase. If anybody even buys music anymore, but that's a that's another story for another day. But it's all on Spotify and iTunes and all of that. But if you truly want the actual real product from the artist and maybe even, for what it's worth, for the money that the websites pay you, I could probably end up buying two tacos for 99 cents at Jack in the Box from the deal, but
That is amazing. That is amazing. It is Dan Sindel with us today, and we're talking a little bit about Blindsided, which is an incredible good tune.
thank you.
So the animated video on YouTube features the explicit version. How did this concept for that visual piece come about, my man?
It just happened. I don't know. I woke up from a dream and there it was.
That's
I,
it. It's that
well, I did
simple.
put two versions together. Obviously, a lot of broadcasters have to conform to FCC guidelines or just good common taste where their audience doesn't really like hearing bad words, but we've been pretty conditioned for a very long time to hear bad words. But I think in a lot of situations, you just still have to be on guard. So I created a version where we blurred out the cussing and left the other one for people who are able to just play it without really caring that much. But yeah, I think it's kind of funny. I've always been a huge fan of comedians like Cheech and Chong and Lenny Bruce and George Carlin. Obviously George Carlin's one of his most famous bits were the seven dirty words that you can't say on television. And this kind of parallels that in a way. Although I used a few different words that he didn't use, but the theme remains the same. you know, if you're hip to that skit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. Blindsided is the latest from Dan Sindel, and he's with us today here on our big program. And so this is an amazing, amazing piece of business. You have you made the decision to release the clean and the explicit version. Do you think that the dual release helps you reach a wider audience?
I don't know if it really works that way or not, but I just sort of figured if I'm going to release the one with the bad words, I should probably be on the safe side if I want the music played in areas where they're under guidelines. Give them that version too. I mean, you hear it all day long on terrestrial radio. Like out here, we have KLOS, which is the last remaining FM station.
That's
And yeah,
right.
you know, certain songs come along and they bleep out the F and the S words. They have to. I mean, what are you going to do? So, it's part of life. It's just part of life here on your big program.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Yeah.
Dan Sindel with us today. He
Are we having
is
fun or what? Did
amazing.
you expect this type of entertainment here
Uh,
on KGAG, baby?
uh, I'll tell you, you're great, baby. You're great. I could talk to you all day. We have got Dan Sindel with us today. So let's talk a little bit about the EP and the creative vision that you have for all this. Blindsided is the fourth single from They Only Love You When You're Winning. We mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
How does this song fit into the overall story or the mood of the EP?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Every song has got a lot of attitude infused. Like I was saying earlier, I don't necessarily, excuse me, I don't write love songs, as Paul McCartney put it, you know. Never mind. I'm drawing a blank on that parallel, but
That is amazing.
anyways, yeah, I was thinking about his song "Silly Love Songs," but I'm not going to sing you that. But yeah, I just I write songs about human experience and the emotions of it all. Everything is really down to earth. I pull no punches. I'm not necessarily living in that fantasy world of Dungeons and Dragons and demons and this and that and everything else. I'm really more down to earth. And really just talk. If anything, I'm not political, but sometimes you have to get a little socio-political without raising any flag of any certain color out there. I'm not really into all that. Just a very, very humble person here, very down to earth, and I just express myself the best way I can through my artwork.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Dan Sindel with us today. He is
Yes.
busier than a fruit merchant, it seems like. He has got all sorts of different things going on. And
Fruit merchant? What?
yes, you seem to be busier than a fruit merchant, my friend.
Well,
Uh,
how about maybe something like a pizza restaurant?
there you go. There you go. That title, They Only Love You When You're Winning, says a lot. What is the deeper message behind this, my man?
Behind they only love you when you're winning?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, what do you get from it?
Uh, I would say that they only love you when you're on top, baby. That's it.
That's about right. You know, people, humans are very fickle creatures at best. And you look at sports figures. They could be riding high one day, drop the ball the next moment, and now they're today's losers. Or should I say, today's loser, tomorrow's hero. It can go every other way. Hey, think of it this way. The people you have never heard from over the past 15, 20 years, if you won the Powerball tomorrow, you think you'd be hearing from them the next day? Hey,
Oh yeah, I'd be hearing from all sorts of people. I'd be getting unblocked on Twitter. I'd be getting all sorts of things happening to me.
that's
It
right.
would
All of a
be.
sudden, hey, buddy, how are you? Oh, yeah, where were you like the past 3 years of my life? So, it's kind of funny. Once again, just how people will give all the attention to people that are in the entertainment industry or politics or movies, anything where you're perhaps in the limelight. But as soon as the rise and fall, boxers, you know they do great until they get hit on the chin, and now they're yesterday's nobody. So without getting too deep, it's just about that. Just a little tongue-in-cheek humor.
Well, that is something else. It is Dan Sindel. He's with us today here on our broadcast. Now, you have described your music as raw and unapologetic. What do these words mean to you as a music creator, my guy?
Well, I guess to just reuse your words, the music sounds pretty raw, and I'm not making any apologies for it. How about that?
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Dan, I want to get into this other piece of business here that you have. You also do uh, anime. You do a visual side here. You just don't make music; you make life visually.
hmm
Uh, Talk to us a little bit about this because these are pretty cool. You've got a lot of animated videos here and short films and just all sorts of stuff.
Did you get a chance to see any of them? I'm curious.
Yes, I did. I did look at the Devil's Weed. I did like that one.
Devil's weed.
Devil's Weed, baby. I also like Spellcaster. That I
Oh,
thought was kind of interesting.
yeah, yeah. Well, I've been drawing cartoons just like most kid ever since just being a little kid, not paying attention to school and just drawing cartoons and monsters or whatever. Yeah, some people grow up and don't do that and do other things in life. I never grew up and still kept drawing cartoons.
That's amazing.
I'm just a big kid at heart. It's kind of funny. When I was 11 years old, I was registered to go to this little class, and It was an animation class. I'm not too sure. The teacher probably worked at the Walt Disney Studios for all I know, but I was taught how to do cell animation as a little kid, where you would draw on the cell, put it on the camera, and you would take one or two clicks of the camera, make frames, and learn how to make your pictures work just like old Disney animations. And yeah, I've been just sticking with that forever. It's just fun. It's a fun thing to do. And of course, now computers can do a lot with your animations and or your still pictures per se, or you build the character in the computer and make it work. I'm a little bit more of a traditionalist. I still don't rely, especially now, the AI is just coming into play. If we time stamp this conversation, which is November 11th, 2025, 3:25 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, thank you.
There you go,
Now,
baby.
AI is just creeping into our software, into everyday life, but I would imagine that it's really been around for 20, 30 years in the back hallways and laboratories 12 miles deep into buried mountains or what have you. Conspiracy theories. But like Star Trek, if you go back to the 50s and 60s, they were walking around with these things, beam me up, Scotty. We as kids thought, whoa, but now that's all part of everyday life. So think about what we really have now in consumer, what really could have been already done 20, 30 years ago, but it seeps into the, society, if you will, these decades later. So I'm kind of looking at AI and how it's already replacing jobs. I live near Hollywood. I'm in LA County, and I don't know if you're aware of, like what last year there was that big strike where all the
Yep.
writers and everybody were really upset about AI taking over jobs. It's getting bad. So I don't know. I'm gonna not really be on a soapbox around here. I'm just riffing on our conversation today. But yeah, I'm just kind of looking at like my software that I get from Adobe that I do my animation with. It's now starting to include over the past half a year AI features, and it kind of scares me. Like, dang man, where's this going? And you see all these lame videos on Instagram and YouTube, do with AI. I just really have a bad feeling that a lot of people are going to start relying on the ease of the machinery doing things for us and taking away the hand time honored handcrafted skills per se of what I might be still doing. Yeah, sure. It might take 3 weeks for me to create maybe a 2 minute scene where you could do it in a computer in maybe 2 hours. I don't know. I'm just making up hypotheticals. But long story short, I like old style animation. I'm not that great at it. I mean, if you watch my videos, it almost has that real raw look of the very first season of South Park or the first Rick and Morty or Beavis and Butthead, where it was just very raw, very unproduced. But as time went by, they got more money to build better productions by the TV stations, and then they kind of lost their charm. They got a little too slick, a little too professional. I don't know if you feel the same way, but if you watch the newest South Parks, the production is off the hook, but it just looks too polished. If you go back to their first years 20, 30 years ago, you can still see it was just like kids moving cardboard cutouts around where they were having more fun. I don't know, whatever.
Well, I will have to say that it is. Uh, you are correct when it looks too polished, and I kind of like the you know the the not so polished look, I guess, is what you would say.
Oh,
So,
oh,
what's been the reaction to your videos and some of the things that you produce?
well, so far so good. I haven't really received very bad press or incredibly awful comments, so I guess I'm okay on that side of it yet.
Incredibly awful comments. Well,
Hey, people can be pretty brutal out there. They hide
yes,
behind some phony screen name and say the worst things ever. You look at some of these comments on YouTube or Instagram, man, people are ruthless. So I haven't been bombed yet by any of that, thank God. But, most of my projects get pretty good response. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'd like to see them go viral, as you would call it, and reach the ears and eyes of millions, but I haven't been so fortunate there yet as far as overall popularity. But hey, by me being on your show, the Jiggy Jaguar, big program, hey, things just might change
a
today.
big show. That's right.
Big, big show.
The big show. That's right, baby.
That's right, folks.
So we have got Dan Sindel with us today. He joins us live here, of course, as she said, on the big show. And
Yeah.
so Dan, what is next for you as an artist, my friend?
Well, I am actually re-releasing some of my older short films, my animated films. I just this week re-uploaded. They were done like 9, 10 years ago. A lot of these things. You saw Devil's Weed. I just remastered the audio and turned it into 4K for higher resolution TVs. So I got Devil's Weed. I have a 14-minute short film, which is called Smoke City Must Die. That's an incredible, cool thing, man. It turns out where I built this universe where the cigarette people are at war with the vapes.
The cigarette people, baby.
Yeah, man, beware of the vanilla mist. It will get you. So yeah, I got that. I also made this funhouse adventure where who knows what might happen when you step into the realm of the funhouse. Yeah, so I'm kind of trying to reboot my anime. I'd love to get it popular in Japan, where anime really is kind of the birthplace of this. You know, it's huge in Japan. I would love to get my stuff. If your program goes out to Japan right now, domo arigato. Yes.
That is amazing. That
Yeah.
is amazing.
Anyway, so
The
I'm re-upping
program
on
goes
my
out right
animation.
now.
All of my videos have been
Oh my gosh.
animated. Hey now, hey, and I am getting ready to prepare for a new music album, and hopefully I'll have it ready by early next year. So I'm just trying to keep busy, buddy. Just one day at a time, but try and be as productive as I can and move the ball forward in the right direction.
Well, it is definitely a thing. You definitely have hit it, and you got it going, my friend. Well, Dan, I appreciate you making time for us today. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us and making some stuff happen. I really appreciate it, sir.
Well, it's been my honor, and to anybody watching this program, thank you. Hit me up on social media, and it looks like we're signing off. So, thank you, sir.
Good stuff. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it, sir.
Bye, everybody.